What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. Today we are taking another look at corporation projects. They've been around for a few months now in their current form, since the Havoc expansion, and we have been told by TCP recently in an article that they're going to be constantly iterating them and things. So I thought, we've been using them in their current form for a few months. Let's have a quick chat about our experience so far, how we think they're going, and what we've been using them for specifically in our case, and maybe a little bit of feedback for where development could go in the future. If you have any comments and feedback yourselves, please drop them in the comments below this video. And CCP do see some of these directly, but also if there's any feedback and comments you've got, I'll sort of collect them and pass them on to CCP through the partner program. Okay, so corporation projects. For those of you who aren't aware and are new to my channel, I run a wormhole corporation. So we live in JSpace, and so I think maybe our use of corporation projects is going to be slightly different to those that live in different areas of K-space. So this is the view of a wormholer, but yeah, I think some of it applies across the board. But so I'm going to start with the scanning projects, because just so you're aware, you've got all these different types of projects now, which is great. There's obviously a big expansion from previously, and I believe they're planning to expand it more. But the one we use most, and I really like, is the scan signatures project. We obviously, living in JSpace, one of the really important things is to constantly have a chain up if you need it. And so we have people, of course, that are willing to do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't live in wormhole space. But what we use this project for is just to gently reward, not really incentivize, because the incentive's there anyway, but to reward those that go out and scan all the signatures. So you can see we have open here one that is I've called Wormhole Chain Maintenance Project, number 6. And it's doing exactly that. Basically, it's a project specifically designed to make sure that our wormhole chain is maintained and kept up to date. This has been really good. The way it runs is basically you have to deposit some cash up front from the corporation. So when you set one up in here and go scan signatures and then go 1,000 and add a payment option of 100,000, for example, this 100 million ISK gets deposited straight away. It goes into escrow and it comes out of the corporation wallet. So that's how that kind of functions. And then every time someone successfully scans a signature, the amount of ISK in the reward gets taken out of escrow and put into a bank for them to be able to claim. And that all functions nicely. There was what we were concerned would be a way of exploiting this system, which CCP is already fixed. Basically, if you scanned the same signature twice, you would get paid twice. But CCP have fixed that already, which is great. So now things just run pretty smoothly. I set up a fairly large project, but my standard at the moment has been 5,000 signatures, each with 100,000 ISK reward. So 500 million goes into escrow. And we're on project 6, and I've done the same for all of them. So we've paid out over 3 billion ISK in just for scanning signatures over the last few months, which might sound like quite a lot of money, but on an individual level, it's not that much, right? No one can earn a living in EVE doing this. But it's just a little thank you for what they're doing. What bothers me a little bit, one of the pieces of feedback I've got specifically for this, is the fact that all the ISK does go out in escrow. I can understand why it has to, because if the corporation doesn't have the cash, they shouldn't be able to pay for the projects, but it does mean, like, I essentially want this just running perpetually. You know, I'm never going to turn this off until they change projects. It's working for us, and it's what I want to happen. So basically, when these run out, I have to come back in, log in, create a new project, which is easy. You can just go duplicate project, and all the same stuff goes in there, which is easy. But what if I'm away for a week or offline, or our project managers are off? Then it's a bit annoying, and we don't particularly, we're not super cash rich, so I don't particularly want to set up a project with like a 10 billion cost, because that money is then gone, and so you then need to free up some more cash from assets and things. So that's just one quality of life comment, but I do understand why it's implemented. And the other one that I think hopefully would be changeable is you can do signature type, which is fine, but we want any, because we need to understand everything that's happening in JSpace. But you can only name one system in the project, or everywhere in New Eden. What would be really good is the ability to just scan in wormhole space, for example. Just set it up so that if it's a J system, then they get paid. If it's K space, then they don't. Because we don't care about K space. Occasionally there's a K space system in chain that we might use to link, but generally, if someone's out doing a bit of combat exploration in low-sec, that doesn't matter, and so, but they would still get paid from the project, and we can't control that. So that's just one comment, and I'm sure it applies kind of to nullsec blocks as well. They may want to just understand where wormholes in their region is, and so they may change it and just have, we want 100 wormholes, but if you find one you get 10 million, because it's really important for them to understand how people can access their space, right, in nullsec. But again, instead of just one system, they might want to be able to set a region, so they might want to be able to do the Veil of the Silent or something for like Frat, or even Constellation or something like that for smaller groups. So just the ability to limit it beyond just a specific solar system would be really useful, I think. And then the last thing just on this, because I've had this comment from a couple of our corporation members, and I'm of course one of them. Some people don't necessarily want to earn the cash, so maybe having the option to donate back to corporation wallet or something, so it's a little bit easier. We've had a few where people have claimed it and then immediately gone to corporation and donated it back in, because there's no way to not claim it. I mean, you can of course just never claim it, but it just sits here, right? This 8.1 million for me has been sat here now for a few weeks. When the project finishes, it stays just sat there, and so that cash is gone from the corporation wallet and it's just sat in the ether if you don't claim it. So at the moment, our members, those that at the time don't feel they want they've got the recognition but don't really want the cash, they claim it, then they go to the corporation and donate it to the corp. That's just a little thing, but maybe having the option to refuse payment or turn down payment or something would be nice. So that's what we've been using things for, and that things are working really well, is this wormhole signature one. I have been trying out the manufacturing and delivery projects, but at the moment I can't really get them to work particularly well for our purposes. They don't really function as a full project, for example. So you can see here, this is called a test. Let's build a Doctrine Raven test. Couple things here that are annoying. If I want a fully fit ship delivered, I can't. You can only do specific items, and you can only do one item per project. So let's have a quick look at that just so that it's clear. deliver, type in an item name, Raven, and it comes up. But then if I want to maybe, there you go, add launchers or something, you just can't. Launcher. So you can only do one item per project. And so for a full doctrine, for a full fit, you end up with a lot of different projects. And so you can see in my history here, this Let's Build a Doctrine Raven test. I needed to set up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then the open one. I had to set up 15 different projects just to get one fully fit like Raven. Obviously I could do multiple within one of those item types within one project, so I could do this and get 100 fully fit Ravens, but it would still have to be over 15 projects, which is a bit annoying. But also the manufacturing doesn't really do it. So this is a delivery project because I want the corporation to receive them. If you just set up a manufacturing project, then to get paid, the capsuleer doesn't need to deliver anything to the corporation. So you can do it on behalf of the corporation, but ultimately that can still be exported into their hangar. It doesn't need to be exported into a corporation hangar or the project's hangar or anything for them to get paid. We've tested it, and that's how it functions. So you do it on the behalf of the corporation. They, in the industry window, they just set, have I got an example? Let's do reactions, for example, owned by Corp reaction formulas. All they need to do is set the output location. Oh wait, we did test this. Well, anyway, it looks like I'm wrong, or maybe that's been fixed. Previously, they could set the I'm sure they could set the output location to their own hangar, but I may be wrong there now, which is good. But we still found it not really applicable to use the manufacturing project, and so we were using the delivery project. But you end up in a situation where it's not really a project per se for manufacturing, right? So if we use let's use these launcher 2s as an example, because this has been open since early December. This particular project, I set it up on the 1st of December. All these Let's Build a Raven one, and the Tech 2 launchers is still going, and we're now nearly at the end of January. So 2 months, and it hasn't been filled. And now, why might this be the case? Because you can't really form a proper project. All we're asking for is please deliver this item. So cruise missile launcher 2s. Let's have a quick look. Cruise missile launcher 2 blueprint. So what goes into Tech 2 industry? There's a bunch of stuff. We have the Tech 1 items that need to be manufactured to go into it. There's components which need to be manufactured to go into it, and they also come from reactions which need to be done, which come from other reactions that need to be done. So there's a full chain of things that go into this. Then there's the raw materials, so robotics, which is planetary interaction, and morphite. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into this, and so for a project just to be, gimme this, that's not really a collaborative effort that we're looking to explore as a corporation. What I'd like to be able to do through projects is have a project manager understand that we need to create cruise missiles, and so they can, through kind of one parent project, have someone create Tech 1 cruise missiles, have potentially another person go and harvest the materials needed, have someone craft round weapon techs, have someone do the reactions, or go and collect the moon goo, and then do the reactions required for the other reactions, and so on, right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff needed that would be really good, and like a collaborative effort. This is a lot for one person to do. I know, because I do it myself. I just have chosen not to fill the project. But I'm quite an experienced Eve player with a lot of skill points and things, and you know, the access to be able to build a Tech 2 anything from scratch, you need a lot of skill points, you need a lot of free slots, you need a lot of stuff going on, and time by yourself. But if you can have a project manager set up a project so that all this happens, then that's great. And theoretically, it's possible, but a corporation has a 100 project limit simultaneously. So let's just have a really quick look at what you'd need to build cruise missile launcher 2s from scratch. How many different projects you'd need, okay? So you need 2 delivery, 3 delivery projects, 6 delivery projects, 9 delivery projects, a 10th delivery project, unless that's been used in another one, not sure. Then there's the reaction the I guess manufacture projects that you'd need to run, which takes you to sort of 14, 15 for another manufacture project. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 projects, 22, 23 projects minimum that would need to be set up just to produce cruise missile launcher 2s. So use up a quarter of your available projects just to manufacture one item if you want to build it from scratch with your group. And so that's why we've not really been using them. They've not really been working well for us, these manufacturing and delivery projects. I ran a test, and it's just not really happened so far. The other project types we've not used tremendously, partly because I need to get back to. So also, by the way, this from an admin point of view, the link between opportunities and the actual corporation projects themselves in the corporation thing isn't intuitive enough. I can do it here, which is kind of fine, but you have to go quite deep, and you end up stuck in there. Just feedback for other people. So like if I'm now looking at this one, it opens up the opportunities again, and then I'm like, oh, I'm in opportunities. How do I create a new project? Oh, I can't. I have to go back to here. So that's just, again, there's another little quality of life element. But so the other project types, capture factional warfare complexes. These are great that they're in there. Super happy that they're there, because factional warfare, especially with Havoc, needed recognition in projects, but don't apply to us at all in JSpace, so I can't really comment on their usability. Damage capsuleers, again, really good, but we've not used it because part of the nature of JSpace is you have to be willing to PvP at any given moment. It's not an optional thing. So you're not trying to reward people for going out and defending your territory or anything. It's just part of it. If you live in JSpace, you got to go and damage capsuleers. Some people are in here specifically for that purpose. Other people are in here and it's like a necessary consequence of them being in here, but either way, you've got to damage capsuleers. So a project for us in JSpace doesn't really make that much sense to use. What else we got? Destroy capsuleer ship. Again, this is that's kind of if we've got a personal vendetta, maybe. I don't really see much difference between the damage capsuleers and destroy capsuleer ships, apart from going after specific entities, but you can do that with damage capsuleers as well. This just pays out if you actually get the killing blow. This pays out if you do damage to them, so kind of strange. Destroy non-capsuleers. Again, doesn't really apply in JSpace. If people want to go and crab, then they do. This is for nullsec groups. So you name a specific system, so you can go and push the admin ratings over there. So we've not used that either. Mine materials. Again, I don't understand it for anything outside of pushing admin ratings in nullsec. So we haven't used it because I want people to go and mine materials. There's specific stuff that we want in our group, and I'm a big fan of our corporation trying to be as self-sustaining as possible. And so, if we can mine raw materials rather than buy them from the market, that's what I want to do. So I would love to be able to set up mining projects, but you just get paid. The capsuleer just gets paid if they mine it and it ends up in their cargo hold. They don't have to deliver it. They don't have to give it to the corporation. They just get paid to mine and keep the ore. So again, apart from pushing admin ratings, I'm not sure the current purpose of this. What I would really like to be able to do is set up a chain, as mentioned, like have a parent project where there are individual projects that kind of feed into it. So I'd love to be able to say, go and mine these materials, and then those materials get fed into a manufacturing project. That's all under this like kind of parent project of build a Tech 2 launcher, for example. I think that'd be super useful and really cool, and you could do some legitimate project management work. These are great. Again, we've not used them because we're just starting to build out our Logi wing, and we've got individuals that are big into Logi, so we've not had to use them. But we probably will look into it in future, but no comment on these so far. And then there's the scan signatures. So, yeah, basically, where we are with corporation projects today doesn't contribute in a tremendous way to how we live our life in JSpace. The scan signatures thing is great, it really is. Just knowing that that's ticking away in the background and our individual members are just being rewarded that little bit for their efforts is lovely. We don't use it as an incentive to scan, but it's a reward and a thank you for doing what they're doing already, basically. We can't survive in wormhole space without a wormhole chain being developed. So that's great, and I imagine that project was created with JSpace in mind, so very much appreciated from CCP. The rest of it, great potential still, but not really usable for us in its current form, or I'm not imaginative enough to get it to work. But what I've done project management in the real world, and I would love to be able to cascade projects and have a parent with sub projects and things, so that we're not using up like 100 projects just building one launcher. That's a bit of a pain, and yeah, and so as mentioned, so we needed, what was it, 24 projects just to build Tech 2 launchers. So if I want to build a Doctrine Raven, then from scratch I'm going to need way more. I'm going to need more, like something like 200 or 300 projects set up if I want to do everything from scratch to build a Doctrine battleship, which is kind of insane. So yeah, but the potential is there. CCP have said that they are absolutely going to continue focusing on projects, corporation projects, and we're going to see development coming up. So hopefully, watch this space, and we, as changes come through the expansions later on in the year, we will absolutely touch on these and see how they impact our gameplay moving forward. So I hope that was informative, guys, and as mentioned, if you've got any comments or feedback that you'd like me to try and pass on to CCP or for me personally, please feel free to comment below, add it there, and we'll discuss. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. It really does make a difference to the video's performance on YouTube, so I appreciate that. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.